Hello guys and welcome back to Car Obsession. The weather in the UK is really awful. So we have Storm Dennis raging his way across the country, which has made filming today's video very difficult indeed. It's very windy, very wet and very cold. So because it has been quite tricky to film today, I'm actually going to do something a little bit different. I'm going to do this review as a point of view review. So the car you see in front of you is the brand new Fiat 500 Rockstar. I'm not really too sure what's so Rockstar about it. It doesn't come with any guitar lessons, nor does it come with any groupies. But that aside, anyway, let's move on to the car. So this is towards the top of the range. This starts from £15,775, although the car you see before you is actually over £17,000, so it is quite pricey. Now let's talk about standard features. So as standard, you get LED daytime running lights, 16-inch alloys, you get a fixed glass roof, and you also get rear parking sensors. Now this car has got the optional Portofino green paintwork, which I really like. I think it looks quite classy and quite distinctive, and I've also got climate control as well. That is also another option. In regard to engines, you have two choices. You either have the 1.2 litre naturally aspirated petrol, which you don't want because it's got about the same amount of power as harnessed children. It has 69 horsepower to be precise. However, the engine I have is the 0.9 litre 2-cylinder turbocharged twin air engine, which has 89 horsepower along with 145 newton meters of torque. If you prefer that in pound feet, that is 107 pound feet. This power is mounted to the front wheels via a 5-speed manual gearbox. Let me take you on the inside because it's so wet and nasty out here. I will try and make sure this angle is good enough. It's difficult to get things right, but hopefully you can see the inside. You've got leather detailing on the seats and of course the iconic 500 logo, and the Portofino green paintwork also carries on inside. You've got the Portofino green on the dashboard. Hopefully you can see that. Oh, just been whacked by the door. The wind's just, that gives you an idea of how windy it is today. So let me quickly show you the boot. It isn't very large as you would expect from a 500. It only offers 185 litres, so it's about the same as a suitcase, let's be honest. And these rear seats, well, they are really here for decoration because unless you're a child, you probably won't be able to get into the back. Let's pop that down like so. So, before I get swept away by Storm Dennis, I think it is about time we go for a drive. Now, before I do go for a drive, I do want to talk about the interior specification. Let me turn on the ignition like so. Turn the radio off. So as standard on the Rockstar, you get a 7-inch touchscreen with DAB radio, Bluetooth, smartphone connectivity and navigation supplied by TomTom. As I mentioned, you also get rear parking sensors, which can be seen on this screen here. So this 7-inch digital instrument cluster is also standard. Air conditioning is standard, but as an option, I have climate control. The fixed glass roof is also standard. I quite like this. It gives the inside an airy feeling, which is handy because you do have dark roof lining. I think without the glass roof, it would feel a bit dingy in here. There's not much in the way of safety features. You do get 7 airbags, ESP and hill hold assist as standard, but you don't get features such as autonomous emergency braking or lane departure warning. So this car was awarded just 3 stars by Euro NCAP. Okay, 3 stars isn't disastrous or dangerous, but if you want a city car with higher safety levels, you may want to look elsewhere. It could be worse. This could be a Fiat Panda, which has a Euro NCAP rating of 0. So yeah, this won't be too dangerous, but not the safest car out there. Let's touch upon the interior itself. It's a nice place to be. I quite like the styling. You've got a few gloss black detailing here and silver detailing, and of course this Portofino green trim level. Don't get me wrong, certain parts of the interior do look quite cheap. These buttons here, for example, they look like they've come from the 90s, but on the whole, it is quite a pleasant place to be. You've got a silver centre stripe on the steering wheel, which is a nice touch, but it does seem a little bit pointless. This isn't a sporty car, and it also has a flat bottom steering wheel, which again seems a little bit needless, but yeah, it looks, it looks quite nice. In regards to practicality, the door bins aren't massive. I think you'd struggle to get a bottle in them, but you can fit a few snacks in there perhaps. You've got a really small cubby hole here. Hopefully you can see that. You can pop some loose change in there. 2 cup holders in the middle. A little slot here. You've also got a USB port, a 12-volt socket, and of course a glove box, which offers a decent amount of space. But anyway, it really is about time we go for a drive. So as I mentioned earlier, I've got the 0.9 litre twin air engine. I think earlier I may have said it has 89 horsepower. If I did, I was incorrect. It has 85 horsepower. So yeah, if I did get it wrong, just want to correct myself. It also has 145 Newton meters of torque. That is 107 pound-feet, if you prefer the old method. Sorry, I do need to put the heaters on so I clear up in here. In regard to performance, this car would hit 62 miles per hour in 11 seconds, which does seem quite slow and quite pedestrian, but this car is quite nippy, it's quite perky. It's almost as if it's been fueled by an espresso. Let's turn it down a bit. And the top speed is a little over 106 miles per hour. Sorry, it's just a little over 100 miles per hour. It is 106. That is what I was meant to say. In regard to fuel economy, on a combined run, Fiat states that this is good for 50.4 mpg and it emits 106 grams per kilometre of CO2. Now let's talk about the engine itself. Turn the heaters up. Let's talk about the engine itself. As I mentioned a few moments ago, it does feel quite perky, it feels quite nippy. Yep, okay, it's not overly powerful, but it's a city car. You don't need lots of power in a car like this, do you? And it makes a wonderful thrum as well. If I take out of eco mode and give it the beans. Go on, Fiat, sing your little heart out. So yeah, it makes a pleasing thrum as you drive along, which I quite like. Now let's talk about the handling as I'm going through a few corners. I know this car isn't built for handling, but to be honest, this car, in my opinion at least, it is quite fun to throw through the bends. Don't get me wrong, this won't win any awards for handling, but because it's a small car on skinny-ish tyres, it is quite fun to chuck it about in the corners. Okay, there's not a lot of grip and the steering feedback is quite numb, but something about the handling does genuinely make me smile. The 5-speed manual gearbox, the changes aren't the greatest. They're quite long and they're not overly slick. However, I think for the casual driver, they'll be just fine. The change itself has got a relatively precise nature to it. But yeah, it isn't the greatest. Just feeling the body lean through the corners, it is quite comical. It is quite entertaining. And so is that. Yeah, the weather today is awful. So let's talk about the ride. The ride is okay. I would say it is average. It isn't amazing, but it isn't truly awful either. Down here it's fine, it's compliant, but it never really feels settled. And the ride can be a little bit busy and also quite firm at lower speeds. But again, for the casual driver just going about town, I think there won't be any dramas or any complaints about comfort. One thing I will say though, speaking as a taller person, the driver's seat, and the passenger seat, they are set too high in my opinion. You get in this car and it almost feels like you're climbing into a small SUV, and it feels a little bit odd at first, particularly when you look at this you look at the size of this car. You may not expect quite a high driving position. My seat is set to its lowest, but even now it feels like I'm sat in a chair as opposed to a driver's seat. Now, you may not have any issues with it, but for me personally, I would want to be sat just a tad lower. Refinement, like ride comfort, is average. There is a bit of road noise coming into the cabin, but it isn't deafening. There's also a bit of road noise, a bit of wind noise as well, but again, it's not deafening. And let's face it, this is a city car. This is to be driven around town, so it is unlikely you're going to be doing many motorway miles with this car. And just on the topic of motorway miles, this engine may be more punchy compared to the 1.2 litre engine, but on the motorway or dual carriageways or faster roads, it does feel rather gutless. And I think if you had this car full of passengers and some luggage, this would struggle to really use its power because, well, let's face it, it hasn't got a lot of it. The pedals, they've got a nice weight to them. They're quite light, so this will be an easy car to drive. I think this will be quite an accessible car to drive. The clutch is light, but it's not too light. It's still got a little bit of firmness underfoot. And the pedals are spaced out quite nicely. I've got no complaints there. And on the whole, the Fiat 500 is an easy car to drive. It's, oh blimey, just as well really with conditions like this. The biting point is easy to find, and I've had no issues operating the clutch. The manual gearbox, as I said, isn't perfect, but it's good enough for its job. I do like threading this through corners. I don't know, it's quite charming, and I think that's one of the Fiat 500's greatest strengths. It is charming, but I would say it is also expensive. Now this car is over £17,000. Granted, that's with options, but over £17,000 for a Fiat 500. That to me does seem a little bit scandalous. I'm not too sure if you agree with that, but that does seem just a tad excessive. Visibility is fine. I've had no issues seeing out the car. There's plenty of visibility from the front. The A-pillars, I've not found the A-pillars to affect my vision. Vision out the wing mirrors is fine, and out the rear, again, once more, I've got no issues whatsoever. Let's speak about the touchscreen. How easy is it to operate, particularly on the move? It's quite easy. The system is a bit laggy. Some of you that watched my review on the Abarth 595 will remember that I had quite strong criticisms on the touchscreen because it's not the slickest. I like the display. The display is nice. Oh, so it's playing music now. The little engine's struggling now. Yeah, the touchscreen, I think it looks nice. It's not the most intuitive. No, actually, let me take that back. I was about to say it's not the most intuitive to use. What I meant to say, it isn't the slickest to use. I've had no issue operating this system from a usability point of view, but oh blimey, that's really getting quite toasty. But I would want it to be a little bit faster. The system does seem to be a little bit clunky. However, I used the sat-nav earlier this week, and that was fine. That was easy to operate. So I think the 500 will be an easy car to live with. I think the only drawback with the 500, apart from the price, is of course the space. The rear seats are really there for decoration. Yes, okay, for children, they are usable, but for your average adult, they are not going to want to be sat back there. They are definitely going to shotgun the front passenger seat, and the boot isn't that large either. So there we have it, guys. That is the Fiat 500 Rockstar. I do apologise this review hasn't been like my usual ones, but maybe some of you have liked this format. If so, please do let me know. But yeah, the Fiat 500 Rockstar, you know, it is a charming car, but from, you know, in my opinion, it's just a bit too expensive for what it is. It is endearing, it has got character, but it's also got quite a large price tag. So I think it's a difficult one, because the Fiat 500 will always be, you know, a popular car. But you know, when you actually think about it logically, it's not the best use of your money. But I have to be honest, this is definitely nicer than the Fiat 500 I tested a long time ago. Yeah, it's got more bells and whistles. So overall, this isn't a bad car, but at the same time, for what it is, it's simply too expensive. Anyway, I hope you have enjoyed this video. Hopefully normal service will review soon on Car Obsession when Storm Dennis has gone away. But if you have enjoyed this video, please be sure to like, subscribe and to ring my bell so you get notified every time I make a video. But until the next time, guys, be sure to keep up the car obsession.